one?
I'm good.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's okay. They're going to use the heat treating.
No, it's not on,
Need
dude.
something other than a Pepsi?
I don't want
Like green belt.
You want something else?
love
Pepsi, you
I love
weak
ham.
tit?
You want to
I can't buy a Minnesota beer all by myself.
Yeah.
Willing to drink a ham.
I used to drink a lot.
Well,
Cheap.
And when did you go through rehab?
hey,
Well,
hey, let me
I stopped drinking
bring.
hams when they took the cartoons out.
Oh yeah, there you go. I did too. I was 10 years old and I was like, where's that fuzzy bear?
I'm not drinking this anymore.
I'm smoking Camel, which, by the way, is not evil.
No, camels are not evil. You get a bit,
They're
dizzy
Muslim.
and you led to your grave.
Well, they're
but
evil now because they're tied with the Taliban. No,
Dizziness and
camels,
going to your
they're
grave early, not evil. No, evil has more to do with like experiencing pleasures which others are made uncomfortable by.
yeah.
That is evil.
25 and 2, and did you want another gym?
Yes, I did.
Next week I think I tried to order green belt, but I couldn't. So I think next week we're going to have
What are you
highlights.
getting here, rum and
I don't like highlights.
Okay, sorry.
No, vodka.
What was I talking about?
evil.
Evil.
Wait, I gotta get
There's some evil right there.
See that? In God we
Root
trust.
of all evil.
In God we trust.
Love those money.
Root of
Somehow
all-
money's tied to our show, although I don't think we've got a budget.
No, but
Would you pay for that?
The donations have been rolling in. I mean, it's fantastic.
that's true.
If you want to, by the way, if you want to donate money,
You can't.
you can't, because we're evil. We don't need money.
And we don't sponsor anybody or have sponsors.
Thank you.
15.
Oh,
You want money?
always want
Be
some
right
money.
back.
Our leaders, no, what I was going to say about that is that, like I said, you don't, the idea, I had thought, I foolishly was thinking that I was living my life without leaders. And I'd just get up and go to my job and everything, and I wouldn't think, I didn't think, like, what would my leader say, or, what should, the leader never entered into it,
You probably never thought about health.
I never thought of,
Struggling with these.
yeah, I never thought of Bob Burns, Marshall Mayer, Bob Burns, Marshall Mayer, or George Sturrock, or what's his name? David Sturrock.
Sorry, George.
City Councilman.
Sorry, it's the other George who has nothing to do with it. We apologize.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, these people who are above me and who are leading me, it's a letter like this which hits you on the forehead and says, think of your leaders.
Yeah.
Think what your leaders would want you to do, because, there is a hierarchy and we should serve it.
They can't be getting paid much to deal with all this evil.
Our leaders need not cower before obscenity, and that's a good thought too, because, if you have leaders, you don't want the sort who cower.
So how do we know our leaders if they're cowering?
They dress better than that.
So like if they walk past, say, a Penthouse magazine in the convenience store, God forbid we'd have something like that in Marshall. Do they cower when they walk by that?
Well, they shouldn't, is what Anderson is saying.
Yeah, but they do. He's supposing that they do cower. He's almost like calling them to
He's
task.
calling them out.
Or does it mean that they cower before obscenity?
It would be good if we had
But I mean,
if we
cower.
had a public forum from Bob Burns, the mayor, saying, I do not cower, as it's, that would be helpful.
And
Or during?
you're probably thinking they shouldn't cower. They should just go ahead and buy one, buy a pencil.
Yeah, don't cower before obscenity, indulge.
Just enjoy it.
Or no, you need to know, if you're going to fight evil, you have to know the grounds evil is on. So I personally used to fight evil, so I would go into a store and buy that Penthouse.
Just to fight it.
Yeah, so I'd read it aggressively. Look at the pictures.
From what I'm understanding from what you bowlers are saying, is that you're assuming that Anderson is equating us with
With who?
Penthouse. Is that the assumption?
Well, see, now there's a there's different levels of evil that we could call Penthouse like quasi-evil, and something like, say, Hustler, Larry Flint, who is,
I think both are pure evil,
Well,
frankly.
he's the Coke of evil, and Penthouse is the Diet Coke of evil.
Okay.
So we're evil because we're promoting nudity?
What are we?
It's not only nudity, it's the sexuality. You see, the thing is that our leaders should not cower before obscenity, and that goes deeper than we would even think, because it's not just about like what's obscene that you see in Penthouse or whatever, but your own life. Let's say you go to let's say, urinate. Urinating. If you urinate, or whatever, and you're gonna need to kick out, or I don't know how to say it. I don't even want to even go there, you know, like saying what, but in your daily life, you
Take out your Anderson. I mean, your job.
yes, you have to look at sometimes certain things in life which are pure evil. And yet, it's how you deal with that. And let alone if you reproduce, which the Lord wants us to do, I hear. You know, this is what they say, the Lord wants reproduction or whatever. But at the same time, does the Lord want you to see that thing, like, you know, in and out?
Whoa.
Like looking at it, just looking at it, or should you look away while you're
You gotta
doing
close
it?
your
How
eyes,
do you
basically.
how do you deal with the obscenity of the fact of existence? You know, it's like, do you not engage your own perceptions, or is there a way, like the Puritans had a board between the two people in the bed or something? That is what Vicey has, in fact. Don't you have a board in between?
Well, yeah, this kind of got worn out. We have
Too many splitters.
light switches, I think, now. You know? I hear people using the phrase face-to-face, heart-to-heart in the dark. And, I think that's how it's accomplished around here. Although the birth rate, you know, judging by the population, must be fairly low here in Marshall.
That's because of butt sex, I think.
Oh, and you know, and goddamn if you're some scared young woman who, you know, puts a fetus in, or a newborn that's dead in high V, and you get a $75,000 bail.
Well, there are things that show weird feet eye other places.
Yeah, she'll flee Marshall to Minneota. And that's always
Where Bill Owen will welcome
Yeah, I
her.
think Minneota, though, has had his evil problem under control for a long time.
That's right.
That is a good question, though. How did Minneota get evil under control? Tim Bain has an answer to that question. How did Minneota get evil
Well,
under
it's like
control?
they invented all these like diseases in Minneota. So if you do evil, you basically, you know, you're gonna get a disease. Like
How do you invent?
Vicey's had syphilis, and so he's learned to use that fucking board. You know.
You had to say the magic evil word.
Yeah. It's just, a lot of diseases. That's what keeps people from doing too much evil.
We may have disease, but we don't do that.
Yeah, but the question is, does God give us these diseases? Like AIDS, they say AIDS is a scourge from God, like leprosy was in the old days.
Yeah, I have a story about God.
Tough to prove, though.
Well, we got stories about God.
This is a story, well, it's not really a story, it's a fact. It's a fact. God, you know, I have a relationship with God. I opened myself up to God. He talked to me, and he told me something which surprised me, but I'm going to tell it to you. He told me about the Immaculate Conception, how this happened, because it was always something I wondered about, and I didn't even have to say anything, but he knew I was wondering about it. So he,
Because God is omnipotent.
no, he's potent. So he told me about it. He said, You know what happened was, Mary, who was like a Palestinian woman. Did you hear that?
God was talking to you.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but have you heard that Mary was a Palestinian woman?
Who was named Mary?
She's Jewish, right? Isn't that Palestinian?
Well, I think she's Israeli.
Israeli?
It must have happened after 48, right?
No, it happened a long, long time ago when Israel and Palestine were one thing. They were just like a, yeah. Anyway, she's a very dark woman if you're imagining, like, you know, like the way Israelis and Palestinians look. They're very dark women. Anyway, and Mary was,
Very dark appearance.
yeah, not like
Dark
African
evil.
dark.
Not like dark like us.
Not exactly dark African, but like dark. You know, they're very dark people, black hair,
Goatees.
dark skin.
Yep.
And anyway, he saw this woman Mary, and it was the first woman ever, he told me, in his life, he saw her ass. And it was like absolutely so sexy, like the absolute perfect ass. And he couldn't. No, this did not happen. I was just, maybe this isn't the place as, Spicy seems to think.
Well, I think it'd be more appropriate if you're on one of the religious shows.
Right, well, I mean, on a religious show, they would welcome it. Still, I mean, God loved Mary. That's the bottom line, right? That's and it gives us a way, too, to love God more, because we think, Jesus, I know what that's like, to see a woman's ass and be like, holy, good Lord. And just be like,
That's where the phrase "good Lord" came from.
Clear an ass man is what kind of conclusion we're talking about.
I think most men are.
Well, God is male. He's got to be an ass man. Well, he could be female and be an ass woman.
There's the bumper sticker, too. He could be female and be an ass woman. I don't think, but I think James R. Anderson is right, because the more we talk, the more deeper we get in. You know, somebody told me that James R. Anderson was a lawyer, and I think this
I
should...
believe he.
Well, just as well. The thing
So
is,
he's not making
I think
false
that's a
claims.
wonderful thing to bring to the attention of all the youth who are watching, sadly, who are watching. You know, anyone watching, you know, who's too young to be watching, it's kind of sad, but at the same time, we can say to you, anyone can become a lawyer. Basically. I mean, we're talking about, or president. I mean, there's no intelligence requirement at all. I mean, look at The View. Star Jones in The View, lawyer. You know, you think you can't be a lawyer?
Talk about
I mean,
fun.
I think Spicy's a little bit different. Yeah.
Well, I am a little different. I think it's a good time for me as a lone conservative on the panel to express my outrage with most of what gets said here. But at the same time, I'd like to say that as a conservative and a person who drinks beer from Wisconsin,
Syphilitic.
and I mean, once a syphilitic, I guess always a syphilitic. I like to think that's true. It's important that even these voices, get heard.
Now more than ever. Here, let's give an example of a syphilitic wanting to have his voice heard. Taking a pee.
Who was that? That was the syphilitic.
Well, how did you say that? Urinating?
urinated.
Urinating.
You're right.
Urine.